Hello, welcome back to my classical tin toy robots episodes. Let me show you some of the more traditional tin toy robots which were popular back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. In front of you, you see three. Actually, I have 4, 5 robots to show you. This one, under the category name of Gear Robot, was manufactured back in the 60s in Japan. As you can see, you wind it up. It has a stop and start function, which is not obvious, but it's actually in the antenna. Push the antenna down and you stop the robot. As you can see, there are 6 very colorful gears. The original version of the robot had 4 gears of differing sizes, and right now you can find actually the 4-gear traditional robot on eBay for several $100s. I've seen them sell for over $400 easily. Or you can go for a reproduction. These are easier to come by and they're about $20. Now, I've seen on eBay some of these gear robots being advertised as the vintage ones, but be careful. You know it's not vintage if it has 6 gears. All the classical gear robots of this model had 4 gears, so don't be mistaken. It was actually one of my more fun robots. I really wanted this one back in the day, but instead my parents got me another one. This little fellow right here, right? Kind of a comical one. He's has an odd shape to him, almost like a cartoon. In fact, it probably was modeled after a Japanese cartoon. He has, you know, little arms with limited motion here. All right. He has a separate key that comes right here in the box. When my parents bought me this robot a long time ago when I was a child, the key was permanently attached to it, but now it's detached right here. Also, when you wind it up, inside the eyes you can see sparkling motion. That's because there's an embedded flint on a grind wheel. Looks fun, sparks, but like anything, it'll wear out and then you won't have the sparks anymore. However, this is a collector's item for me, so I don't intend on playing with it, but just holding on to it for nostalgia's sake. Now you notice the Robbie the Robot was a very popular movie from the title Forbidden Planet. And over the decades, various models of robots were made that resembled Robbie the Robot. This was one of the more popular ones again. It comes with a separate key. You wind it up right here. Okay. And there's an on and off toggle switch, because you can wind it up and then when you're ready to play with it, you flip the switch. He has some sparkling action right in here. Alright, same thing. It's caused by a flint. I'll take the key out, demonstrate it. One of my favorite toys also. This one is fairly easy to come by. If you're interested in purchasing any of these, there are internet websites that specialize in marketing these reproductions of Japanese wind-up toy robots. This little fellow right here I like because he has a more of a human face. He's a very traditional old-fashioned robot. His construction seems a little bit more primitive than the others, but yet I find this a quirky, nostalgic charm because it dates back long ago to the 50s, when toys were even more simple than they were in the 60s and 70s. He also comes with a key right here. The key is wound in this aperture. He is called Robot Lilliput, and there is a stop and start toggle switch right here. There is also a junior version, which is about 2/3 the size of it, smaller version. This is the full-size one. I like this little guy here. In the newspaper about 2 years ago or so, there was some internet company, and they had a think table for the engineers and the top managers to gather around and do some brainstorming. And on top of the table they had a series of child's toys, and one of them was this little guy. At first I wondered, what could grown-up men be doing with such toys on a brainstorming table? And then I realized, after a while of contemplation, it was there to help stimulate creative thinking. An internet company has different creative needs than, say, a traditional manufacturing company. Again, take a look at his peculiar human-like face. Gives him a nice quirky charm all of his own. Now, there was also a type of wind-up robot that really wasn't quite wind-up. It was gyroscopic. Again, another play on Robbie the Robot. He was wound by a gyroscopic action right here. It turned a flywheel, and it turned these wheels right here. So I'll turn the key to start the flywheel motion. Very interesting. You can still find this little character on internet websites. There's even bigger ones too. This is the smaller version. Again, this one must have been dated a little bit more towards the original. Should have been around the late 50s, I would think, or the 60s. The construction, which is supposed to be close to the original, shows a little more simplicity. You can see up inside there's gears or lights that turn. If I could take off the dome head, I would color the lights and make it brighter inside. Well, here is the little kid in all of us. Sometimes it's good not to take yourself too seriously. Enjoy yourself. Keep a little bit of connection to one's childhood. Makes for a more pleasant and happier adult life. And if you ever feel the need, take your little friends out here, play with them, and reminisce about the good old days when life was simpler. You were a child and Christmases had more fun, and entertainment was hands-on. There were no iPods back then, there were no Nintendos or PlayStations. All creativity and entertainment was hands-on. The beauty about doing this is that playing with a toy such as this did indeed stimulate creativity. It was also a young child's first introduction to technology, such as it was back in the day. We all thought that robots would be a lot more popular and more widespread in the end of the 20th century and into the 21st, and we're still waiting for that to happen. Probably because the cost of the technology is still very high, and there's a lot of development still left there. But you know, toys like this teach children, in my opinion, to keep thinking out of the box and never give up thinking about the future or what can be or technology. It can all be fun at the same time. Thank you very much for checking this out. I hope you enjoyed looking at my toy robots. If you are a collector yourself, you know what you mean. I'd like to see some of your toy robot reproductions or even vintage ones if you have them. Again, welcome, thank you. I'll try to have some more later on. Hopefully there's more collectors out there and we'll see some of your collections in the future. Bye-bye.